Hej allesammans, jag kommer att spela The Stanley Parable. Kör vi. Språk. Skulle välja vänta. Screen. Subtitle. Okay, so please choose a screen and subtitle language. Okay. Spela in. De tänker här. Kanske... no subtitles. English. No subtitles. No subtitles. Confirm. Kör vi. Please stand parable before. Men på Switch har jag det, jag menar för att säga nej. Så den där titulaten nästan ligger så typ. Där typ. Det är tydligen 16:41. Vad fan? Okej, det går inte. Okej, så jag går inte att skriva det så. Okej, det borde vara rätt det där då. Coolt. Okej. Begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh my god. British.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour.
Stanley parabled all over the place.
That not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh my! Ser det här, den här rörelsemekanismen kunna se hur fan. Men för jävlar alltså. Se de här rörelserna. Fan alltså.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean?
Yes!
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a...
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy? Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you want to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okej. Jag vet inte vad som något som kommer ignorera det där. Vad tog det? Crouching mechanics. Yeah. Yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okej. Viktigaste spelet då. Okej. Här. Eller här. Vi går hit. Hej går vi.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Okay,
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps
Förlåt.
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Jag vet vilken idé det skulle vara.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Detta är livet.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Jag skulle betala 5 miljoner kronor
At this
bara
point,
för
Stanley's
detta.
obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's
fan pratar du om?
possible that this is why everyone left.
Vad fan? Nu går jag ut då.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Ja, okej. Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okej. Fattar. Vad viktigt det. Room closet. Öppna den nu.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Girl, oh, toaletten. Oh, den försöker shit med då. Fan. Ugh. 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 Stora inget. Där ja.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah.
Stanley yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Någon jag missade då.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Jag sätter ut här. Jag måste vara modig. Jag måste vara modig. Jag måste klara detta.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh my god. Right, and why have photo?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Oh gud. Hemskt alltså. Hemskt, man måste bara få en... Hissen. Väldigt långsamt in i hissen. Väldigt långsamt. Väldigt långsamt in i hissen. Nej men gud, tack så jag kan gå ifrån nu. motiv. En fan vet du. Ja! Ja! Den finns något jag behövde för att klara detta. Tack så mycket.
No, he refused to believe. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
Jag säger, jag har inte hört om den här fantastiska låten här. Vad fan säger du den för?
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
För. Det här nu.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Ooh.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Wow! Vilken slut! Ska du fucking med mig?